I'm excited. All right, we are live. Awesome, awesome. Tap in, everybody. I know we just got on here. We got a bunch of other content creators that are live right now, too. Appreciate everybody that gives us some attention. Don't adjust your screens. Yes, it is 4 o'clock. Usually I do this a lot later. But my name is Harley. This is TheLead Houston, where it's all Houston all the time. We are live right now with my good friend, Dr. John Crumpler, in the building. Introduce yourself to the people, man.
Hey, Harley, thanks for having me on. Hey, if y'all don't know me, my name is John Crumpler. I write over at the Texanswire. You can find me on Twitter at John Crumpler MD. Kind of do a lot of film and advanced analytics about the Texans.
Yeah, you've been inflooding the the content right now with bunch of OCs and a bunch of everything. We'll get into it right now, man. Just a hell of a news dump on a Friday. We're pretty much used to it now when it comes to the
I told
any
you
sort of
guys.
sports platform. Yeah, and here we are, man. The Houston Texans. Just earlier this week, you had exit interviews and D'Amico Ryans talking about Bobby Slowick and had a one sentence answer when it came to Bobby Slowick. Immediately, I went, this sound kind of have a just a strange feeling around this. Maybe there is some light that Bobby is going to get fired. He gets fired today. What was your immediate reaction to that?
I mean, I'll initially say surprised. I really thought that this was a staff, especially that after they talked about execution for most of the year, that it might be in D'Amico Ryan's nature to say, I'm going to give my friend Bobby Slowick, who took the leap to leave San Francisco and come with me
Mm-hmm.
to Houston, one more year. Our guys weren't good enough on the line. We didn't have Stephon Diggs. I thought there were enough excuses there that they might be able to overlook what was statistically one of the worst offenses in football. And uh, I was pleasantly surprised that they did not. I think this opens up a world of possibilities for the Texans, and ultimately, that this is the fastest way for them to take the leap to the next step. So I'm going to say surprise. What about you?
Yeah, I was shocked. I have been on various platforms, whether it was here or Bleacher Report. I was on note of saying that I just thought the loyalty card that comes from coaches that typically stem from the Shanahan Kubiak tree. We seen Gary Kubiak firsthand here. There was a lot of call for Rick Dennison to get fired when he did, and they wanted the keys to be handed over. And Gary Kubiak didn't do that for quite some time. He's a very loyal guy, and I thought that would have extended on down to D'Amico Ryans, and he said, "No, no." Not only Bobby Slowick, you're going to get fired, but Chris Strausser, who we all kind of knew was going to get fired. But the rumored potential internal replacement was Cole Popovich, and he got fired. And I was like, whoa, okay. D'Amico's just going to drop his nuts on the table and say, yeah, the biggest struggle of the 2024 offense for the Texans, well, not the offense, just the biggest struggle for the Houston Texans 2024 season was the offense and that alone. And you can stem the issues, offensive line, offensive coordinator. Some of it has to go towards CJ Stroud, but a lot of it stemmed towards Bobby Slowick and the offensive line. You fired both. I'm excited right now. It's a new day right now, man.
Yeah, a little bit on Bobby Slowick. I'll give some numbers for the audience. This is something I put on Twitter to start this week. I kind of told myself I was going to tweet as if D'Amico Ryans and the McNairs had burner accounts, seeing what I was saying. So Monday I put out the Houston Texans. They finished across 32 NFL teams 24th in EPA per carry, 31st in rushing success rate, 22nd in EPA per dropback, and 25th in passing success rate. So this was a bottom 10
Yep.
offense. And I was talking to a buddy earlier, and they asked, how does this happen? How does Bobby Slow go from someone that was universally celebrated and considered successful a year ago to a coordinator who is now unemployed, who's going to be looking for one of these positions with another team for this upcoming year? And I think last year when he installed this system and it brought it really needed structure to the organization, to the offense, stability for a rookie quarterback. And they were at a talent deficiency. That was worth celebrating. But you carry that to this year. You don't evolve whatsoever. You give defensive coordinators so much time to pick at, hey, how can we manipulate the protection schemes? What runs and passes come out of certain looks? And you're so adamant on Harley. I use this joke with Jordan, but do you remember like when iPhone games were really big, there'd be like the light version of the app that you could download.
Yeah.
So you could have like Doodle Jump Light, then it would let you play
Yeah.
for like 5 minutes, but it wasn't the real version. I kind of
Yeah.
felt like Bobby Sloak wanted to be like 49ers Light. Like it's like you got all
Okay.
the concepts, you get the fullback, you're gonna have the tight end blocking in 11 personnel, except instead of future Hall of Famer George Kittle blocking, you get Cade Stover. So you got the
Yeah.
light version of the app. And they didn't innovate to their personnel at all. So I really think this is a chance, and this is a talented but expensive, very expensive, and somewhat set Houston team. You cannot overhaul the entire offense to run the 49ers stuff in one off season. So for them to say, hey, we got to optimize our personnel because we got some really good players here, and that probably needs to be another coach. That is such an encouraging sign from an organizational standpoint, from a how I view D'Amico Ryans as a head coach standpoint, and the future of what CJ Stroud's going to look like as a quarterback in this league. Because I think everyone wants to see him continue that ascent into a bona fide top 8, top 5. Top 5's hard because I think that rotates every year, but I would say top 8 guy. And watching him regress this year under Slowick's supervision was discouraging, to say the least.
Very, considering the offense and the hype that was entered around it. We could talk about, that, they weren't going to go into a Super Bowl or whatever, but I mean, there was numerous players that implied the Super Bowl conversations. They didn't explicitly say it, but it was definitely implied amongst many national reporters. And the Texans, I mean, you're looking into an offensive line that was supposed to be fully healthy this year, which they were for the most part, for the majority of the season at least. You added Stephon Diggs, you added Joe Mixon. Like, now you're adding parts to the offense. If you look at it from 23 to 24, you're going, okay, we got to improve the defense, which we did by adding Daniel Hunter, year 2 of improves, and some key rookies that played their lights out. I mean, amazing play from Kamari Lassiter this year. And so you get that, you're thinking, okay, we fixed the offense enough. We're going to get a year 2 of CJ Stroud and Bobby Slowick. This team can be in the top 10, top 5 categories. And we had many people in amongst the national media picking the Texans as a dark horse for the Super Bowl. And that did not happen. And you just mentioned bottom 10 in offense across the NFL. I mean, that's why you get fired in this league. I like the sense of urgency from D'Amico Ryans, the sense of urgency of, this is CJ Stroud in his rookie contract, and we're not waiting to see if Bobby Slowick can adapt into year 3 and to make his changes and make his little kinks into the armor. No, we're not doing any of that. We're just going to go ahead and fire the guy, and we're going to move on, and we're going to look into some OCs that can help right now. D'Amico mentioned, by the way, he's not waiting on players. Like, he wasn't waiting on players. He wasn't waiting on rookies for this season. I think that kind of extended into coaches too.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I talked to people about this. John Hickman, Locked on Texans, I
Mm-hmm.
love him. I mean, I do
Yeah,
love him.
he's great.
But
He's
he
great.
wanted, that's past tense, he wanted Bobby to stay. And I said, I understand the sentiment that, you want to give Bobby some time to grow into this. It was only
Mm-hmm.
his second year, and there's some promising ideas and talk about this. But I said, are you really willing to bet your entire 2025 campaign that he develops? Because you lost your 2024 campaign to the fact that he could not evolve the system. And Harley, like you talked about, there are too many Super Bowl caliber players on this team. You had the
Yes.
best pass rush in football, pass rushing duo between Danielle Hunter and Will Anderson. Derek Stingley and Kamari Lassiter are one of the best cornerback duos, while Derek Stingley is the best cornerback in the, I guess it's him and Pat Surtain. But you got
Mm-hmm.
studs. You got studs everywhere. Nico Collins is knocking on the door. Hey, I'm a top 5 wide receiver. Look at me. Joe
Yep.
Mixon played better than I think anyone expected. And CJ Stroud is CJ Stroud. So there's no excuse that you cannot at least string together an average offense. And I think that the idea of running it back and getting bottom 10 results again, and I did a thread about this for anyone on Twitter. You can look at me at John Crumpler, MD. I did a thread about offenses that finished in the bottom 10 in rushing success rate that jumped into the top half. So going from bottom 10 to top 16 the next year. There have been 13 teams that did it over the last 4 years. Only four of them kept the same coach. One of those coaches was Kevin O'Connell. So throw him out. And all of them did it in the second year. So you were leaping for Bobby Slowick to be a historic outlier in that way. The others, if you're curious, not exactly Shane Waldron, who was fired halfway through the season by the Chicago Bears. Arthur Smith, who I think is fantasy football's most hated offensive coach ever.
Yes.
The Pittsburgh Steelers, fired with the Falcons. And then Matt Canada in Pittsburgh, who I don't think he's allowed to walk in the city of Pittsburgh now. So the track record, even if guys do pull it off, generally it's, hey, if by year 2 you're not running the ball effectively, you're not going to be able to turn the corner and pivot in that way. So I really do think this was the best decision for them. And yeah, it's Super Bowl or bust. They've got the talent to do it. DeMeco certainly had the defense this year to do it. You just need points. You need touchdowns.
Yeah, that's how you win games. Points wins games. It's simple as that. I mean, not for Bobby Slowick apparently, but points wins games. Look, offensive coordinators, we're done with the Bobby Slowick talk. He's fired. O-line coach, we'll figure that out too at some point, but the majority of this conversation is going to be who will be the next offensive coordinator for the Houston Texans. There's a bounty of options. I think there's more options than people want to think about, really. I think initially when I was thinking on it, at just first glance, I was like, man, I don't know if there's many options for the Texans to move on and get themselves a solid offensive coordinator. And then you're looking at it now and you're going, there's quite a few interesting guys out there that the Texans can get into. John, I know you harped on it immediately before Bobby Slowick was even fired. You're already on the hypothetical next OC of the Texans train. Who you got in mind that could can replace Bobby Slowick in this offense?
Well, Harley, how many names you want?
I mean, give me as many as you want. Who are your top options?
Okay,
at least in your opinion.
I gave a short list of 5, and I'll name them by how I would rank them. Nick Caley from the Los Angeles Rams. This is kind of the year everyone expects he'll take the leap into being an offensive coordinator. Chip Kelly, current offensive coordinator for Ohio State, plenty of NFL and college experience. Josh McCown, the almost head coach of the Houston Texans, turned quarterback coach for the Minnesota Vikings. Clint Kubiak, he was the offensive coordinator this past year for the New Orleans Saints. Plenty of ties to Houston. And then Mike LaFleur. He's currently the offensive coordinator for the Rams. He was with Robert Saleh when they were with the New York Jets. So those are 5 names that I would look at, because just thinking out loud, I do think that DeMeco is going to want someone innovative. I think when you're game planning and having to build an offense build a defense that has evolved to beat some of these really complicated offenses, you want to have one of those offenses that the guys on the other side are having to work just as hard as you. So I'm looking at a bit kind of on the edge of what is considered innovative and up-to-date offensively that also has connections to the organization in one way or another, whether that's DeMeco, Nick Caserio, or the Texans. And those 5 names in particular stand out to me.
Yeah, I mean, whenever I was doing DeMeco Ryans' potential staff, and this was last year in December, 5 guys I had, 5 guys. You named 2 out of the 5 that potentially I thought could have been OCs for DeMeco Ryans, who had direct connections and were pretty kind of hot names at that moment. Bobby Slowick was one of them, so he's already gone, fired. Second one was Mike LaFleur. He was obviously former offensive coordinator for the Jets. Very interested in him. I think he is fairly ranked though as that number 5 there. I thought what he did with Mike White and what he did with him and able to get a few wins actually with a team that was very defensively strong. Unfortunately, he had Zach Wilson at quarterback, and Zach Wilson just never manufactured himself into a potent, quarterback in the NFL. Sucks for them. Wes Phillips was another one. He's currently the OC still with the Minnesota Vikings. Obviously, Wade Phillips is his father. Don't see that lateral move happening.
Well,
But
the question
who
is,
knows?
and it would go for LaFleur too,
Mm-hmm.
is it a lateral move if you get to call plays? And I think a
Sure.
lot of these offensive coaches are okay letting their guys go to call plays because it's just part of keeping your employees happy. Like
Mm-hmm.
people don't get head coaching opportunity. I mean, assuming that 9 out of 10 coaches want to be a head coach. You don't have a lot of Chip Kellys or Steve Spagnuolos,
Yeah.
and it's hard to become a head coach in this league if you don't get to call plays. So I do think the Texans have that going for them if they want to go pluck from these like the Shanahan, McVay trees. All these head
Mm-hmm.
coaches are calling plays, and
Yeah. I mean,
coordinators
Wes
want to call plays.
Phillips. Yeah, I mean Wes Phillips, obviously OC right now. But I mean, if you're looking at Kevin O'Connell, he's an offensive mind. He has Josh McCown at the quarterbacks coach. Maybe he just goes, hey, you know what? I'll just make him OC and make here you go, Wes Phillips. Whatever. Anthony Lynn was way back here in December. Anthony Lynn, he was the assistant head coach and running backs coach at the time with the 49ers. Lots of experience. He could add. I don't see him at all on my short list for offensive coordinator.
I think it's
Definitely not. But there's someone there. And then Clint Kubiak. I mean, we all know the last name. Gary was the head coach here. Clint Kubiak went to Colorado State. He was working with, started at A&M as I think an assistant or a scout or something. Worked his way up with different ball clubs. He has about 15 years of coaching experience, 11 years in the NFL. That to me, Clint Kubiak is the guy that I'm kind of excited about, and I think it gets fans excited about too. Obviously, we don't want to just hire someone that the fans want, but I mean, he did that pretty well in D'Amico Ryan's. Maybe you do the same thing here. But Nick Caley is someone that I really like to harp on with you. That is your number one option. I'm surprised it's number one, considering I know a lot of fans go, first time play caller. Do we really want that? I don't care. Give me somebody that can call the offense. Make the case for Nick Caley.
Yeah, so I understand the hesitation that people want someone who has experience calling plays. And I think that's valid. There were definitely some growing pains with Bobby
Mm-hmm.
Slowick over the last 2 years of him calling plays. But this is someone who has a lot of NFL experience. He has 10 years worth of NFL experience.
Yes.
And I also think this is someone who has been ready to take the leap to offensive coordinator, obviously had an offer last year from the New England Patriots to join Gerard Mayo's staff, and he said, "No, actually, I'm going to keep learning from Sean McVay for another year." And you hear reports about Nick Caley, and I don't think that the desire for experience or the desire for people also talk about the idea that, hey, can we find our own version of Spags, an offensive coach that CJ Stroud's going to have for 10 years? And I think that'd be wonderful. I would really love that. Generally, offensive football does not work that way in this league. You are cutting yourself off from so many avenues to successful, good offensive coaching if you're adamant that you want someone who's not eventually going to be poached as a head coach. So for me, it's a question of who can the best offensive coordinator in 2025 and
Mm-hmm.
2026 be? And I think Caley brings a unique blend of ample NFL experience, diverse coaching background in the systems that he's been a part of, and someone who is ready to take that leap. I think he's as ready as anyone who hasn't gotten to call plays before. So for me, if you can hit the next big thing, and I think Bobby, people might attribute those same attributes to Bobby. Bobby is probably a little bit more of, I don't think he was as heralded coming into this. I think he was certainly an up and comer under Kyle Shanahan in that way. But I
Yeah.
think, Caleb, the reason you're hearing his name around the Jets job, around multiple jobs, is this is a guy who's coveted, and that people really do think, like, hey, he could be a one and done Liam Cohen type if you get him. And for me, if you have a chance to hit on the next big thing and get CJ Stroud into that infrastructure for a year, I want to throw gasoline on all this talent that we have. I was tweeting earlier, you've got a top 10 quarterback, you've got a top 10 wide receiver, you've got a top 10 running back, you've got a great left tackle, and you've
Mm-hmm.
got some flexibility to shuffle parts around the line. I think whoever they hire is going to have an answer at offensive line coach. I'm not educated enough on that subject to say who these guys are going to bring at that. That would take more digging than I've had the time to do. But hey, capitalize on the talent that you have now, and I think Kaylee is the right blend to potentially take advantage of this moment and kind of maybe he could be what D'Amico Ryans once was to Kyle Shanahan of, oh hey, we are a top 5 coached unit on both sides of the football.
Yeah, Nick Caley is very interesting to me. He's someone that I drew a line to way back when I was looking for head coaching positions for the Texans, not me. Uh, but Nick Caley was somebody that I had threw up there as just a potential guy that could be not even an OC, but maybe take the next step at quarterbacks coach or whatever. He was currently the tight end and fullbacks coach. I believe for the Rams at the time. He had a connection to Brian Flores way back when we were looking for random head coaches. So, man, that's a blast from the past. I loved Nick Caley. I loved what he brought just from being in that McVay system. And I love anything from that Sean McVay tree. And obviously the NFL does too, considering the amount of success that's happened along his tree. Chip Kelly is a second option on your short list. Chip Kelly has a drawn line of correlation to D'Amico Ryans from 2013 to 2015. D'Amico, great clip from, I believe it was Landry who pulled the clip from his introductory conference where he had talked about Chip Kelly as somebody influential. And we're talking about D'Amico Ryans. Is Chip Kelly can to be the next offensive coordinator for the Houston Texans?
Yeah. And one of my favorite Chip Kelly facts is I believe that as part of like the Players Association or they interview the coaches every year. The coaches get a survey for whatever reason. Chip Kelly to do a survey that year. And one of the questions he was asked is, which one of your players, I think this was in 2015 or like 2014, 2013, like which one of your players is most likely to be a future head coach? And over a decade ago, he said D'Amico Ryans is going to be a head coach. So the idea of Chip Kelly, who there was a really great article this week. I want to say it was on The Ringer. I would highly encourage anyone who wants to learn more about Chip Kelly to go read it. It was a profile about him. And it kind of talked about how burnt out he'd been since departing from the 49ers and this like unenergized experience that he had at UCLA that ultimately left him saying, I think he was tired of the politics of college football and he just wants to relationally connect to people and dream up offensive football and coach offensive football. And this year he goes, Ryan Day, a former protege of his, he goes and works under him in kind of a full circle moment, and they won a national championship together. So I think the question is, Chip Kelly, if you're trying to rewrite your legacy in this way, which I think it's fair to say you're trying to have fun with football again, and you're really getting to make an impact at the highest level. Do you want to win a Super Bowl? And do you want to do that with a player that he cites you as an impact for how he thinks about coaching and how he thinks about innovation in that way? And D'Amico Ryans has been a pioneer, albeit on the defensive side of the football. But I think he has a lot of respect for Chip Kelly. He defended Chip Kelly after he came under criticism for his tenure in Philadelphia. So I would say, Chip, can he come in? You have a chance to win a Super Bowl, to get to the football mountaintop, and he could bring so much stability to that offensive side of the football. I think even further offload some of those responsibilities from D'Amico Ryans and just let him, D'Amico, the defense is your baby and leadership. Like, go do that. Chip will handle it. And the other thing about Chip is he has been in football for such a long time. I would be very fascinated at what people he could onboard onto the staff, because there are just so many wide-ranging connections of the staffs that he's put together. I think he legitimately unlocks some avenues to getting people onto Kirby Drive that these other candidates and they're great coaches, but they're just younger. They do not have the ability to draw connections. And I think even when Bobby Slowick was putting together his offensive staff, I think you could see just how little time D'Amico Ryans and Bobby Slowick had spent as coaches in the NFL, while Chip Kelly, I think, he really opens up your avenues in that way. So man, he can call it up for anyone. If you can get Nick Foles to throw 7 touchdowns in an NFL game, I have no doubt in my mind he could ball with CJ Stroud.
Big time. I like Chip Kelly. I like the experience that you mentioned that he could bring to the offensive staff. He had Ryan Day on staff. That's the drawn connection there. Ryan Day now your champion for the NCAA football, man. Ohio State Buckeyes are the champions. Ryan Day's the head coach. Hey, he coached C.J. Stroud before, huh? Interesting. That would be pretty nice. A little something, especially yeah, exactly. Especially considering that Jonathan Alexander's article had mentioned that D'Amico Ryans was ultimately going to make the decision on Bobby Sloyd, but he did factor in opinions from players, and one of the players that Alexander mentioned in that article was C.J. Stroud. And quite interesting that there's already a connection between Chip Kelly and Ryan Day. Ryan Day to C.J. Stroud. Immediately, I think of Chip Kelly has, and look, just out of nowhere, left field, but Alex Miller is an offensive lines coach currently at University of Massachusetts. He
You're a
was right there with Oregon whenever Chip Kelly was there between 2008. He was only there for 3 years. He did a really good job. He's a former player as well. He was a center. That is something the Texans don't really, for some reason, offensive line coaches here, we get these guys that just weren't players before. I'm not saying every former player is a good coach. I'm not saying that. But damn it, when it comes to the trenches, it kind of feels like you need some of those guys right there. I would not mind anything like that for the Texans. Chip Kelly to me is a very good option there. Um, we mentioned him briefly, Josh McCown. At first glance, I told you in the group chat, I was kind of like, man, what's the infatuation with Josh McCown? I didn't really do my homework on him, and then I went, oh wait, he's not with the Panthers no more, dummy. He's with the Vikings, rocking and rolling over there. And hey, man, Josh McCown, I mean, you mentioned him to me. I liked it once I started talking and doing more deep dive on him. What's your thoughts on him maybe being the OC for the Texans?
Yeah, I mean, Josh McCown, we only have to circle back about 3 years, and people were talking about Will. My first time at the Senior Bowl, everyone was talking, hey, Josh McCown's probably going to be the next head coach, not
Yeah,
quarterback coach, not offensive coordinator, head coach of the Houston
crazy.
Texans. And the reason that the Texans wanted to make that move is they wanted to go ahead and get ahead of a guy that the league was saying, hey, this could be the next lightning rod offensive coach. This could be your next Sean McVay type. I'm so sorry for everyone in the audience. That's the buzzword when you talk about offensive football. And frankly,
Yes,
coaching hires in general. I do think McVay is a
yes,
bit one-on-one in that way, and that's what owners and fans alike. That's everyone's dream hire. But they're like, we're going to get ahead and get a good offensive guy. That didn't happen. McVay took a year off. He was quarterback coach for the Panthers on Frank Reich's super dysfunctional staff under a dysfunctional owner. I'm not going to pin that on him. But this year he settled a really nice spot under Kevin O'Connell, and he's been part of Sam Darnold playing the best football of his career in an offense that we all thought would probably be, maybe it could be okay because of Justin Jefferson and TJ Hawkinson, Jordan Addison, those guys. And hey, it was fantastic. The Vikings won 14 games. So you look at McCown, and it's crazy. You pull up his Wikipedia page, all these teams that he played for in the NFL. He has had so much exposure to how NFL offenses operate. He's learned so many different offensive systems himself that I think he's a guy who can come in and, having learned under these systems, that I think are really good at effectively communicating terminology and make a instant impact in that way of, hey, like I'm assuming he's going to pick up some core principles from O'Connell's system that kind of comes from the McVay tree, and he's going to try to install those, and also someone who can really cleanly connect to his quarterback, to the rest of the offensive staff. So I'd be pretty excited about Josh McCown. It's probably the biggest leap of faith hire of anyone in this group. He's never called plays. He's never been a coordinator. And frankly, Minnesota is about one of the softest spots you could have with Kevin O'Connell running the ship. But if you're going to take a leap, we talked about this idea of throwing gasoline, kind of getting that lightning rod higher of maximizing your talent for the 2025 Houston Texans. I think Josh McCown is a guy that could do that. And I don't see Harley in here anymore. So I'm going to shoot him a text real quick. Well, Harley says that his computer is down right now, which is unfortunate. To finish out my rant, I guess the guys that we have not talked about, and then I'll just jump off here and let the stream end. But Clint Kubiak's a really interesting choice. I think he is kind of, and I can't see any comments or otherwise I just keep going to interact with you guys. But he is, imagine if you're getting a cleaner version of Bobby Slowick. That's how I would conceptualize him. D'Amico Ryan's tried to hire him as the run game coordinator for Bobby Slowick. This year, I pulled up the stats. He was top half of the league in EPA per rush and success rate with the run while he was in New Orleans. So I think someone who could maintain some conceptual continuity of how you're thinking about the offense, what the offense is trying to do on a down-to-down basis for CJ Stroud, but you'd probably be a lot stronger fundamentally in how that running game looks. And frankly, that's the leap they need to take. If you can get that running game to average, you're going to open things up for CJ Stroud. This whole thing is going to pop off. So Clint Kubiak's probably not the most exciting hire, but I think that from a schematic objective with how D'Amico Ryans thinks about football and wants to play and his relationships with the organization, obviously his dad having coached there, he'd be very interesting. All right, guys, I am going to jump off because I'm not able to see any of the comments, and this was Harley's stream. But thank you guys so much for listening. Let's see if he comes back.
I'm back. I don't know what happened. I don't know what happened. But the whole computer decided, hey, buddy, you know what? I'm going to restart right now. And that just fucking sucked. I don't know. I don't know what John did. I appreciate him coming on. Y'all are crazy, man. I appreciate y'all still watching this shit. Still got almost 200 people in here just not watching anything. I appreciate y'all, man. This is crazy. We might have Ruben on here. Who cares? Fuck it. Let's have some people pull up. Man, where's that football of me? It's just me. Come through, Ruben. Yeah, and this went from John Crumpler to just me. I appreciate John coming on. I don't know what happened there, but all right. The whole computer decided, hey, buddy, I'm gonna restart right now while you're on the live stream, and I was like, what? No, the fuck, you're not. Let me. And yeah, I froze, and I was in whatever phase I was in, and I apparently left the live stream. I thought the live stream will be over, but apparently it's still here. And you know what else isn't here though? It's Bobby Slowick. So we're gonna go ahead, get a link going. We're gonna send it to Ruben. See if Ruben wants to come through here. Let me see if Ruben wants to come up on here. Yeah, so that's basically what happened. Bobby Slowick's fired. Offensive line coaches are fired. There's all kinds of nuts going around here in H Town right now, man. It's a hell of a time to be alive as a Houston Texan fan. So let's go ahead and let's see what Ruben's doing. I'm gonna go ahead and paste it. I'm sending him a link. Let's go ahead and do that. Let's get that going real quick. Let's answer some questions from the crowd, man, because that threw me for a loop. It's not what I was expecting. Crumpler for Texans president. Hey, there we go. We go, Lou G. I hope the Texans draft one of CJ's friends, Emeka Ogbuka from Ohio State. Hey, if Chip Kelly is a guy that the Houston Texans get here, hey, somebody did mention that Chip Kelly could definitely grab a few of his Ohio State guys. We saw him do that whenever he was with the Philadelphia Eagles into yes, we do, bud. I'm texting Ruben right now. Since I mentioned you. There we go. So yeah, somebody up on the comments had mentioned about Chip Kelly. If he's the guy that is hired for the Houston Texans as the offensive coordinator, then yeah, he could bring in a few guys over here. Now I know in Philadelphia he had like some GM stuff. You know, he had direct control of roster management. That's something he's not going to have here, and hence why a lot of the anybody that was an Oregon Duck went straight to the Philadelphia Eagles right away. So, yeah, I could see him here with CJ Stroud and Nico Collins and maybe Stephon Diggs and Emeka Egbuka. I would not mind that whatsoever, but there's quite a few guys from Ohio State that the Houston Texans could definitely dip more than just their toe into the pool with. And perfect timing right there, Brandon. Thank you so much. Donovan Jackson is someone. Quinshon Judkins, Trevion Henderson is another one. Hey, I'll take those running backs. I'll take Henderson. I need a running back for this team. Nothing against Joe Mixon. I love what Joe Mixon did. Nothing much against Dameon Pierce. I'm just kind of wondering if Dameon Pierce can be that guy for the Houston Texans as a backup moving forward. How much do you value him as a kick returner? But the biggest news of the day, man, I hope it's someone extremely experienced in quarterbacks and offensive plays. Chip Kelly could bring that for you, man. Chip Kelly's that guy. You think the Jags moves actually improve them next year? Real quick on the Jags. I love Liam Cohen. I'm a big fan of him. I was a big Liam Cohen guy, and I was wondering, hey, maybe he is the guy for the Jacksonville Jaguars. The biggest thing they did was firing Trent Baalke. That's not something I liked as a Texan fan because Trent Baalke's a piece of shit. I mean, let's be real. That guy's horrible. I mean, my goodness. I expected them to maybe hire Robert Saleh or do something else, but they went back to Liam Cohen, who was supposed to get an extension from the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Did not quite happen. As soon as you fired the GM, they could have had Ben Johnson, and that's what's hilarious. But who knows? Liam Cohen, what he did with Baker Mayfield and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, man. Ooh, I thought losing Dave Canales was a big blow to them, and Liam Cohen said, "Nah, I'm that dude too. I'm that guy too. I'm me." Bobby Slowick is gonna come on chip. Oh, Bobby Slow is gone. Come on, Chip. Yeah, man, I don't mind Chip Kelly. I like him. Chris Olave is an interesting idea. Depends on what the trade value is for him, how much you would want for Chris Olave. I don't really want to give up anything much. So we'll see what happens there. If Chip Kelly does come, Harley, I think money talks. So Houston Texans have to do something to pay the man he wants. Hey, scared money don't make money, and the Houston Texans are not scared to spend money. Okay, they're still paying contracts of David Culley, Lovie Smith, and I think Bill O'Brien. Maybe this is the last year, but I know they were still paying him last year. They just extended Bobby last year, gave him a raise to keep him at offensive coordinator. So yeah, man, they're not the owners. Cal McNair is not afraid to spend that money. If that's the guy D'Amico wants, that's the guy D'Amico will get. Direct line of correlation between him and Chip Kelly. They were together 2013 to 2015. Someone just messaged me actually on Twitter. Jair's a great guy. Here it is. Just tuning in. He said, but Bill Lazor was Chip Kelly's quarterbacks coach in Philly for 1 year. So that's another connection besides D'Amico Ryan. Shout out to Jair. Used to come on Texans Unfiltered way back in the day. Has a Substack himself. Make sure to go and check out his Substack. If you don't know Substack, it's articles and stuff that he writes himself. And he has some really good content himself. So go ahead and check out Jair on Twitter, TXN Football. But yeah, he's the one that mentioned about Bill Lazor being another connection to Chip Kelly, who was there in the Philadelphia Eagles staff. Judkins, yeah, man. Judkins a bad dude. Y'all saw what he did? I saw what he did in that college football game. Ooh, Josh Simmons. Hey, you need offensive linemen, right? I mean, I'm right there with it. Yes, sir. Money talks. Yes, I know, man. Money talks. Will hiring a coach before a GM cause dysfunction? It could. It could. That's usually not the way you want to go about it, right? I mean, you usually want to go get your GM first and then your head coach, but we'll see what happens. It's obvious that the owner is going to have to find a GM that is okay with having Liam Cohen as the head coach. So that's where you kind of play into that kind of boundary. We'll see what happens. We'll see. Go get Doug Peterson. Doug Peterson. I don't know. Doug Peterson, man. Like Doug Peterson don't get me going. Doug Peterson don't give me football horny. Like Clint Kubiak, cool. Nick Caley, cool. Chip Kelly, I like what he does. But Peterson, I don't know. And I could be completely wrong on that. I'm not right on everything, all right? Believe me, I am not. Doug Peterson, all right. His first year with Trevor Lawrence, I thought they did pretty well. But this last year with them, and I know there's a lot of issues as well. The offensive line didn't do a great job for Jacksonville. But Doug Peterson don't really get me going, man. Yeah, Ben, in my opinion, would have been a good fit. Talking about Ben Johnson, the Jaguars. Yeah, I believe that would have been the fit, and I believe that would have happened. And I think the Texans, I think Ben Johnson is an absolute offensive mastermind that's up and coming in this league, and he went to the Chicago Bears. I think the Texans dodged a bullet there with Ben Johnson not going to the Jacksonville Jaguars. But Liam Cohen in Jacksonville, it's got my curiosity, and I will, definitely we're all going to be tuning in because we play them twice a year, and we'll see a few games here and there from them. But I do think the Texans dodged a bullet with Ben Johnson there. I even think the Kubiaks too would be good. I'm a big fan of Clint Kubiak. I don't think Gary Kubiak is somebody that's going to come on staff. But if you do hire his son, Clint Kubiak, then I think the interest increases. I really do. D'Amico Ryans, we all know, was coached here underneath Gary Kubiak. Gary Kubiak was the former head coach of the Houston Texans then. So I would be excited about Gary Kubiak in some sort of capacity on the offensive staff. If you have a Clint Kubiak or anybody with the Shanahan tree system here, even if it's Gerard Johnson. Gerard Johnson was at Texas A&M for quite some time as a player, and then has bounced around with a few teams. He has some good experience. Started with the 49ers in the Bill Walsh internship. It's off the top of my head now, but I believe he went to the Colts with not Shane Steichen. Colts was somebody. I forgot who it was. But yeah, I mean that's somebody in Gerard Johnson. He also went to the Vikings as well. So he's been around. He's got some good experience taking a few things from each people, here and there. So yeah, I do. I wouldn't mind Gerard Johnson. I wouldn't. I like Gerard Johnson. I don't think the fans would like it. I don't mind Gerard Johnson. I don't mind a promotional hire here in Gerard Johnson from quarterbacks coach to OC. But I don't think y'all fans are going to like that. And y'all can flood the comment section whether or not y'all would want a Gerard Johnson here. Excuse me, but I don't think I don't know if y'all be interested in a Gerard Johnson here. We got Gary or Clint Kubiak. Clint for sure. I think Gary needs to be on this staff some way, somehow. I really do. The experience just is so much experience there. He's like the grandfather of the scheme, and so that would be great to have. Enough Doug Peterson talk. It is what it is. I like Kenneth Grant from Michigan. He's a beast. I love to take in the draft and get a Mecca wide receiver with CJ Stroud. Ooh, here comes a yawn. Oh, yeah. Ooh. Kenneth Grant from Michigan. Yeah, I like Kenneth Grant as well. Emeka Egbuka, man. I like Emeka. I like Emeka a lot from Ohio State. Big fan of Matthew Golden. Whose house? Y'all know Matthew Golden, and Matthew Golden is a former Houston Cougar, and now with the Texas Longhorns, had himself a hell of a year for the Longhorns, making some clutch catches and big plays late in the year. I really like Matthew Golden. I like him a lot, and I agree with Jordan. Jordan from Texans Thoughts. A lot of y'all are fans of Jordan Pine, man, and Texans Thoughts, but he's one of the guys that said that he would prefer Matthew Golden. He has him over Emeka Egbuka, and I don't disagree. I love Matthew Golden. I'm a big fan of his, and I thought he was underutilized here with the Houston Cougars. And then, we weren't competing for nothing. He needed a better quarterback, and he went to the Longhorns, and he did a great job. I appreciate you, Jimmy Q. Appreciate all that, man. RQ had the good work. Appreciate your knowledge and genuine outlook. Hope you continue to grow and prosper. Much love, Texans for life. It's always Texans for life, baby. It's Houston sports for life, man. I'm an Astros Rockets Texans fan. So, yeah, man. Jimmy Q, appreciate all that good stuff, man. Thank you. Thank you for the well wishes. I wouldn't like that, being honest. I think he's talking about Doug Peterson here. Yeah, I wouldn't know. I'm not a Doug Peterson is not on the short list for me, for sure. Not at all. Not at all. But I do like Nick Caley. I do like Chip Kelly. I don't mind a Josh McCown. John Crumpler mentioned a few options. You got Nick Caley, Chip Kelly, Josh McCown, Clint Kubiak, and Mike LaFleur. Very interesting options there. Don't mind it whatsoever. Let's see. Let's see what we got here. The Saints are going to be completing an interview with former Texans defensive coordinator Anthony Weaver. Maybe bringing something a little exotic over to the Big Easy. All right, Anthony Weaver. maybe head coach of the New Orleans Saints. I love Anthony Weaver. I thought he had a raw deal here in Houston. I thought that was a big task for him to just take over the DC right away and then immediately be like a scapegoat as well for Bill O'Brien. Thought it was a shit move from OB. I like Anthony Weaver. I like what he could do. Shout out to him going to potentially the Saints. He completed an interview there. So yeah, let's see what else we got here. Man, I mean, the OC being fired, you got your two offensive line coaches being fired as well. So I'm excited. I'm excited about the times right here in Houston. I'm excited about the Texans and their future. I'm excited about the 2025 offseason right now. I can't wait to get into it. Ruben will be on here in just a minute. Don't y'all worry. If we get golden, it's over for the league. All right, Ayush. All right, Ayush. All right, I see what you stepping in. I see what you stepping in. I like that shit. I ain't gonna lie. I love me some Matthew Golden. Him, CJ Stroud, Nico Collins, new OC. Josh McCown is a very interesting option. I'm starting to like Josh McCown more and more, considering what he did and what he worked with Sam Darnold. Sam Darnold was supposed to be a piece of shit, like a dud. Like when the Vikings were, we had them on schedule, everybody was like, oh, Vikings? That's going to be a dub. Like you're facing a rookie quarterback at J.J. McCarthy, and then he got hurt for the whole year. And then it was like, oh, Sam Darnold? We got this in the bag. Like Sam Darnold's a piece of shit. And he went to Minnesota. And he's cooking some boys. Like Sam Darnold started playing like USC Sam Darnold. Like top of the line quarterback. Josh McCown and Kevin O'Connell and Wes Phillips, they did their thing, but Josh McCown deserves a lot of credit there. Let's see here. We need an aggressive OC, not a sissy like damn sissy. Not hearing anyone drop all lineman names. When it comes to the offensive lineman, I think John Benton is a guy that needs to be talked about for the Texans. John Benton was formerly with the Houston Texans way back during the good old days where our offensive line was actually pretty good. A good offensive line. I'm talking to Chris Myers, Dwayne Brown, Wade Smith, Mike Brazel, Eric Winston. Offensive line, and John Benton did a hell of a job there. I would not be shocked for John Benton to come over here. I would not be shocked whatsoever. So yeah, John Benton is obviously one of the names there immediately. I mentioned one on stream, and one of the guys on stream for Chip Kelly was Alex something. I have to look it up again, but I think it was Alex Hamilton from University of Massachusetts, Alex Miller, excuse me, from UMass. He was there with Chip Kelly at Oregon, and oh shit, here we go. You know what? We gotta have something come in real quick. We're gonna have someone come in real quick, guys. Ladies and gentlemen, proudly present to you. We got here. Nah. You see, I was gonna play this, but I think I got a better song. I got a better song for him. We got Ruben, Mr. 713, and man, I'm excited. I'm excited right now. We got this off season. We got it coming on. See, your boy don't got YouTube Premium, so he got to wait for the ads. But we got 2025 off season ready. The Texans are here. And Ruben is here as well, ladies and gentlemen. What's going on, big dog?
I'm feeling great. I'm feeling blessed. I'm feeling highly favored. I'm feeling like the Houston Texans are going into the 2025 season with the new offensive coordinator. Boys, this is what we wanted. This is what we wanted. Yes, and like Ralph said, I used to pray for times like this. Sure. We were complaining about the Houston Texan offense since week 2, Sunday Night Football against the Chicago Bears. and that problem stuck with us the entire season. Harley, I am feeling great. And let me start off by saying this. Let me commend D'Amico Ryans and the front office. There was a legit concern whether or not the Houston Texans were going to bring back Bobby Slowick or not. On our roundtable, I think we were split decision. Some of us said yes, some of us said no. But now here we are. It didn't take a week. It just took 4 days. The Houston Texans not only got rid of Bobby, they got rid of Cole Strausser, and they got rid of Popovich. Goodbye. Good riddance. Entirely new offensive staff. Let's go.
Yeah, I'm excited too, man. Bringing the energy right away. I love it. This 2025 offseason, it's the biggest offseason. We said last year was the biggest offseason for the Texans. Right now is going to determine how your season goes.
Year 3, baby.
And this is the thing that you wanted as a Texans fan, is you wanted some change. You wanted to shake up the offense. This is how you shake up the offense. D'Amico Ryans and the Texans decided, fuck it. We're going to drop our nuts on the table. Our shit's bigger than yours.
What?
And we going to fire Bobby Slowick.
What?
Chris Strausser, because he's
what?
And Cole Popovich.
What?
I didn't expect them to fire Cole Popovich.
No,
that
was like a little cherry on top for us.
Yeah, hey, yeah, we're firing Strausser. We're firing fucking Bobby Slowick. And you know what? Go ahead and fire that piece of shit Popovich too. I don't even know what he did.
I feel like it.
But yeah, it took the words right out of my mouth. Like, exactly, bro. Like, I was like, oh, okay, Cole Popovich fired too. That motherfucker just said, oh, fuck me. I can't get an O-line coach.
I mean, and like, what a statement it is, we heard rumors that he was the, next in line for the offensive coordinator job. And I don't think anyone was excited about that because the offensive line was horrible with Cole Popovich here. So what gives us any hope that it's going to get better? There's not going to be any. Now, next season, we are going and thinking new O-line coach, new offensive coordinator, new Houston Texan offense. Let's go.
Yeah, man, I'm excited. I'm excited, man. This just shows the level of urgency. This shows the level of urgency for D'Amico Ryans. D'Amico Ryans is being very urgent right now. What do I mean by that? Is you're looking at a CJ Stroud rookie contract, rookie year deal, and you got to capitalize on it as much as you can. D'Amico Ryans is not willing to wait on Bobby Slowick if he can adapt to year 3. Like, he's not willing to wait if Bobby Slowick can figure it out year 3, if the offensive line can figure it out some way, somehow in year 3. Like, no. The level of urgency is now for the Houston Texans. I think John Crumpler, who I had on here originally, then the whole computer decided to just restart on me middle of the stream. So I appreciate everybody that was still had almost 200 people in here with no one on here. Like, shout out to all of y'all, man. That's amazing.
Swarming.
But John Crumpler mentioned, I loved what he said, and I just rephrased it into this. Top 10 players, top 10 type of offense, bottom 10 results. And that's what gets you fired. Like, if my company hires people for me that I've been complaining that I need more people, and now I got workers, and now I don't got no excuse to really have any excuse for a poor job, and we do worse than before when we had a lack of workers and a lack of, work and anything, someone's going to get fired, and it's going to be the guy that's leading the charge. And unfortunately, Bobby, hey, it is what it is, man. They gave you Stephon Diggs. They gave you Joe Mixon. You're supposed to have a healthy offensive line. You had all the hype going into this year. You're thinking, wow, the second year, Bobby Slowick, second year, CJ Stroud, a second year with this offense. You're thinking Bobby Slowick was going to evolve this year with the moves you made defensively. You needed to improve the defense. You did, to a whole nother level. The offense you thought was going to get there as well, too, it didn't. And it ruined your whole year.
No, and that's exactly right. The reason why we didn't get to places that we thought we were going to go is because of the offense. And, when you look at the offense as a whole, it starts with the foundation, it starts with the O line, and they got rid of both people for that. And it's like, yeah, I agree. The sense of urgency needs to be at an all-time high. You have CJ Stroud on his rookie deal. You got about 1 or 2 more years until you have to make him the highest paid quarterback, one of the highest paid quarterbacks in the NFL. And I love it, man. I love this move. And, the Houston Texans are a destination for anyone who wants to further themselves in their coaching career. You're going to see CJ Stroud. You're going to see Nico Collins. You're going to see Joe Mixon. You're going to see Lerman Tunsil. And you're going to say, wow, those are 4 core pieces for this offense. Why would I not want to go there? Now, I wonder how the list is shaping up. I mean, I just got off work, so I don't know, who the Houston Texans are looking at. But one thing's for sure, man, it's up. There is a new excitement around the Houston Texans.
Yeah, there's a whole bunch of excitement. Look, man, I'll get you on board right now.
Talk to me.
John Crumpler had his short list of offensive coordinators.
What did Crump Daddy say?
This is his 5 guys in order. He ranked them live here on TheLead. We're going to put them for you. Let me hear your reactions. Okay. Nick Caley, number 1. Chip Kelly, number 2.
Okay.
Josh McCown, number 3. Clint Kubiak, number 4. Mike LaFleur, number 5. What do you think about that list? Who do you think who really sticks out to you?
Every name gets my nipples rock hard except for Josh McCown.
Really?
Yes. And I don't know. I'm not in for the first time offensive coordinator. And I know that will be, the first guy that you mentioned. I believe he's from the Rams, correct? But when you come from a Sean McVay system, I mean, you're gonna have all the trust in the world when you try to plan out your offense. I've seen a lot of Chip Kellys. Now, we know maybe Chip Kelly isn't that great of a head coach, but maybe he is a pretty good offensive coordinator, and his offense was good at Philly. His offense was good at UCLA. He just won a national championship. So that should give you some excitement right there. Whenever I hear the Kubiak name, gives me a little bit of chills, just like you did right there, because of what could potentially come alongside of with Clint, his father, Gary. And think about what those two could do for this Houston Texan offense. But what did we say, all the time back then? If you had a good quarterback behind, a Kubiak offense, you're just blowing out everyone. We talked about what if Deshaun Watson was in a Kubiak style offense. And now imagine CJ Stroud with Nico Collins and Joe Mixon and, whoever you draft and pick up in free agency, that gets me excited. But Josh McCown, I don't know. The fact that he almost became our head coach kind of still has a sour taste in my mouth. I know how scared we were, when we were talking about him becoming a potential head coach, but you can't ignore the job that he did with Kevin O'Connell, with the Minnesota Vikings, with Sam Darnold. He is familiar with the Houston Texans, was just here a couple of years ago. So I don't think any of those top 5 names would surprise me. I like the dude from LA. I'm a big fan of Clint Kubiak and, Chip Kelly. But I wouldn't mind 4 out of the 5 of those names. What about you?
Yeah. So initially I was like, man, Josh McCown, but
sexy.
But when I mentioned, and I said it in the group chat, I was like, what's the infatuation with Josh McCown? And I still thought he was with the Panthers. I'll be fully honest. And then I was like, oh, wait, dumbass. He's with the Vikings. And I remember before the season when we saw the Vikings on the schedule, we went dub. JJ McCarthy, rookie quarterback, dub. And then he got hurt for the whole year. And then when it went to Sam Darnold's going to be the quarterback, we went big fat fucking dub. Boy, were we wrong.
Yep.
Just like we were wrong with the Panthers. What's up with Josh McCown being a slayer of YouTube content creators, man? God. He wants to kill us, man. He does not like us. And You know what? When I did think about it, and I went, "Wow, what Josh McCown did with a Sam fucking Darnold,
Mm-hmm.
like Sam Darnold, the piece of shit quarterback that was saying I'm seeing ghosts, like the fuck." And he made him into. At some point, there was MVP talks
Yeah,
for
and it
Sam
quickly
Darnold,
died down.
obviously, and we all know that his playoff performance wasn't up to snuff.
Mm-hmm.
But what they got out of Sam Darnold this year,
It was elite quarterback play.
exactly, and that goes directly to Josh McCown. I know Kevin O'Connell there. I know Wes Phillips is there as well. But Josh McCown has direct work with the quarterbacks. What he did with Sam Darnold, I gotta respect it. And you
Mm-hmm.
know what? I want to see Josh McCown have his basketball game with CJ Stroud.
That's your
Like,
guy?
why not? I would not mind a Josh McCown. I
Ah.
wouldn't say it's my guy, but I just remember when CJ Stroud was there in Carolina and had the Ohio State's little thing, and you saw Frank Reich there and Josh
Mm-hmm.
McCown there, and Josh McCown said, "Yeah, man, we gotta play a pickup game at some point. Let me know where." And CJ Stroud said that he was down, and we just never had it manufactured. It never
Mm-hmm.
happened. You know what? Come on down to the H. We'll have your pickup game with CJ Stroud. We'll talk over some offensive game plans, some concepts. And we'll get it going.
Like I said, that wouldn't make me that wouldn't excite me, and I'm not gonna lie. Obviously, like you say, you gotta respect what he did with Sam Darnold, but what else did you do? And if you're gonna tell me, oh, Sam Darnold's the reason why I need to be your offensive coordinator, then I don't know. I wouldn't fully buy in. I would understand it, and
Mm-hmm.
I'll head into the season with some questions, but the thing that is intriguing about Josh McCown is he's been around 15, 16 different systems. He
Mm-hmm.
knows a variety of, coaches all around the league, all around college. If there's anyone who wouldn't have an issue, filling out his offensive staff, it's Josh McCown. But I don't know. I just don't want to hang my hat on and make 10 videos just talking about how, oh, look at what he did with Sam Darnold. Look at what he did with Sam Darnold. But it's interesting, man. You have to nail it out the park. You have to get the right OC. You have to get the guy who can get this Houston Texan offense on track because you have the defense. You really do. And if you get a top 15 offense, you're going to find yourself winning a lot of football games. If you have a top 10 offense with this defense, you're going to find yourself winning some playoff games.
For
Um,
sure.
he's just, there's a lot of
Yep.
pressure on general manager Nick Caserio and head coach D'Amico Ryans.
Yeah, there is a lot of pressure when it comes to this because, like you said, they got to get this right. And I would expect a decision soon because if you're firing Bobby Slowick, you got to have the guy in mind already. Like, you got to have somebody in mind. And you got to have someone. Like, immediately I'm like, okay, who is that person? Who is that guy that they have? Because you can't just, okay, we fired Bobby Slowick. All right, guys, who do we got?
Yeah.
Like, like you immediately got a short list already of guys that you're going, all right, maybe Chip Kelly. Chip Kelly worked with D'Amico Ryans from 2013 to 2015. I mentioned Jair from the group chat already on the live stream. He mentioned Bill Lazor was working with the Philadelphia Eagles for 1 year when Chip Kelly was there at head coach. So there's another connection as well,
Jason
too.
Kelsey brought up that D'Amico Ryans knows a lot of people in Philadelphia.
Yes, Chip Kelly also had Ryan Day on staff at Oregon. Ryan Day is now the head coach of the Ohio State Buckeyes, and it had a connection with I don't know, this guy named CJ Stroud. So Ryan Day, head coach with CJ Stroud. Maybe CJ Stroud goes, I'd be very comfortable with what Chip Kelly some of the offensive stuff that he could create and
Mhm.
manufacture here in Houston, I don't mind it. And look, I know we had this one comment talking about Chip Kelly. You know, he destroyed Philly. He's not going to destroy Houston.
And it's been
Telling
a
you right now,
long time since that
he had
happened.
roster control in Philly. He does not have that here in Houston. We're not hiring him to be the head coach. We're hiring him to be an offensive coordinator. And if you can put, hey, D'Amico, you trust the defense. Here you go, Chip Kelly. Here's your keys to the
Mhm.
offense, and you do your thing. What's your confidence level on Chip Kelly to take over the offense and make it let's say, at least top 15 offense in the league?
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty confident, man, because his offenses have traveled. It's what you brought up is the fact that when he was in charge of, making decisions on players, he got all his guys that he was comfortable with from Oregon.
Yeah.
Like that's who he got was just Oregon, 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 Oregon. And then we saw how being loyal to guys you coach in college doesn't really translate well to the league. But I have no doubt that that he can bring a new offense to this Houston Texans. And of course, if I'm CJ Stroud, I love the fact that he's coming from Ohio State. The fact that he just won a natty will kind of, I don't know, add some pedigree to how CJ Stroud views Chip Kelly. And here's the thing: we all know it's always been about his offense, is whether or not he has control of the players. But I would have confidence, man, in Chip Kelly. I would have confidence, high confidence in everyone besides Josh McCown.
Besides Josh McCown, I'm liking the Josh McCown stuff. I'm liking it. I am. So we had a tweet earlier today.
Talk to me.
And it was after all the mayhem was going on and stuff. And here I'll go ahead and read the tweet here. Um According to a source, hearing that the interest from the Jets and Gerard is the reason for letting Bobby go sooner, they want to be one of the first ones to interview him. Hashtag Sarge. Big Sarge with the rumor right there about maybe the Texans fired Bobby Slowick. Not maybe, but this is his rumor. But do you think the Texans fired Bobby Slowick so they can at least have an interview with Gerard Johnson before maybe he's an OC with the Jets? Maybe the Texans want a promotional hire. Maybe they want to promote Gerard Johnson and have him to be the offensive coordinator. What are your thoughts on that?
I mean, if that was the case, then why didn't we make the switch towards, week 12, 11, 13, when we were saying, hey, you need to make a change at offensive coordinator because it's not working. And you're seeing CJ Stroud, mess up and lose faith in this Houston Texan offense. That would kind of be a letdown. If the fact that you fired Bobby Slowick just to interview Gerard Johnson, because you had that opportunity during the season. I mean, as soon as we saw him, I'm talking about CJ here, throw his helmet down against Green Bay, I said, you have a problem. And the problems just continued and continued throughout the year. Hey, Gerard Johnson, you were a part of this lackluster Houston Texan offense. Kind of the same conversation we're having with Cole Popovich is the fact, you were a part of a unit that wasn't successful. So that would have kind of had me raise my eyebrows, but they should interview him now that they're able to. But other than that, that would kind of, I don't know, it would kind of make me feel some type of way because why not do him during the regular season?
Yeah, and it's nothing against Gerard Johnson, but
Nothing against him.
I just don't think the fans would really like that move. I really don't.
We were praying for it during the middle of the season.
Yeah, and it didn't happen. And now I'm kind of like, man, Gerard Johnson was that. When you're single, there we go. There's always that one girl you got. Like, you got them. But you're still interested in all the rest of the people. You're still interested in but you got that one. You got her. You got her. Like, y'all texting, all that good shit. But it's the buffet that's very interesting, right? Like, it's the rest of the restaurants out there that's very interesting. And no offense, but as much as great as she could be, I I like Nick Kelly. I like Chip Kelly. I like Josh McCown. I like Clint Kubiak. I kind of like Mike LaFleur. I kind of like those options, better or
Mhm.
as much as Gerard Johnson, and if the Jets do hire Gerard Johnson, oh
Yeah.
no.
Oh well.
Oh
I'm
well,
happy for you.
yeah, like I'm definitely happy for him. Humble High School, love Gerard Johnson. I think he could be a really good OC in this league. I really do. And there's nothing against him being an
Mhm.
OC here in Houston. But like you mentioned, don't you think they would have done that move? Now,
It's what I was bitching about. I was crying every other day. See what Gerard Johnson can give you, and the fact
now,
that you didn't make a move
uh-huh.
and you ended up saying, "Hey, you know what? We just didn't get it done." And I'm like, "All right, now let's interview Gerard Johnson." If I'm Gerard Johnson, I'm just like, "Why didn't you have this conversation with me during the season?" Why after that bye week? Because after we had the bye week, we had that 3 games in 10 days where we were like, hey, give it, give the reins to Gerard Johnson and see what he can do, not only for the rest of this season, but potentially next year also if Bobby Slowick is not the guy. Well, we found out Bobby Slowick is not the guy. And, the guy who you wanted to replace him was already in house.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think so. What I will say is, I don't think the Texans made that move just because what good would it have done? The offensive line was shit already. Like Gerard Johnson coming in here, okay, let's say he came in around week 10, week 11. So you're looking right before, let's say right at the bye week
Mm-hmm.
or a week or two before it.
Okay, let's say Gerard had this type of offense against the Miami Dolphins, Chiefs, Ravens, Titans, Chargers, and the Chiefs again. He had that performance from his offense. How would you feel heading into the offseason with that?
What kind of performance? Like an average
Like the
performance?
exact performance you got, during the last month of the season, plus the playoffs, and you got it from Gerard Johnson. What would you say?
I would say there's no difference.
Mm.
Okay. I would say there's no difference because, again, I just don't think they made the move because I feel like they knew. And by they, I mean D'Amico Ryans. I feel like he knew, all right, this offensive line's pretty shit. Why am I going to make a move for Gerard Johnson, who's a former player, who's looking to be a head coach, looking to be an offensive coordinator first? And why would I make him the OC mid-season and make him look bad? Because the
That's
offensive line,
fair.
yeah, you know what I mean? Like, O-line
Yeah.
was not like making him the OC wasn't going to change much. He would have had to schematically change like some of the run stuff when in terms of zone running schemes to more of a inside zone gap kind of run scheme. I don't know if you could do that mid-season and do it efficiently just on the dime, and it kind of sucks for him. It would have put him in a bad situation actually. So maybe that wasn't
Fair. Great point.
maybe and you don't want him to look bad, and then it's like, oh well, now he ain't getting no potential OC interviews, even though he's only had one with the Jets so far compared to last year where he was a hot commodity. you know uh I gotta ask you this.
Talk to me.
Where do you think Bobby goes?
Maybe back to PFF. I mean,
What's
maybe he
going
becomes an OC somewhere, right? Does he
It
go back
depends
to
on
San
the
Fran?
hires, right? Like that's where I thought. Like I'm like, okay, maybe he feels like he'll go right back to San Francisco.
Right back.
There, maybe Green Bay. Green Bay has
Okay.
Matt LaFleur, 49er connection. Maybe the Minnesota Vikings, where you have Kevin O'Connell, and you got a few guys there, Wes Phillips, maybe something like that, or maybe the LA Rams.
Someone
He
brought
was
up
with Sean.
Detroit. That'll be interesting.
It's true. That is true. I say the Rams. I think the Rams would be a good one for him. I think that'd be a great move for him. He was with the Washington then Redskins way back then as a video assistant when Sean McVay was on staff, Kyle Shanahan, all of them guys were on staff back then. So, I think Bobby might go to the LA Rams, man. Learn something from Sean McVay.
Brandon said the 33rd team, Bobby Slowick. That's funny. That's funny.
That's funny.
Yeah, that's
now
elite
that's
ball
funny
knowledge
right there. That
great.
that ain't right too, man. That ain't right.
I'm hype, dude. I'm hype.
I'm excited too. I'm excited too, man. We gotta get a question. So CJ, we know, is good in the pocket, but he also likes to spin it downfield. So what system or OC can bring CJ along while tailoring the offense for CJ?
I feel like that's Chip Kelly, man.
I
feel like that's Chip Kelly, who could spread it around and knows what he's doing, who has coached players like, CJ Stroud, has coached players like Nico Collins and things like that. So I would think, Chip Kelly could potentially have CJ Stroud and his offense looking nice. Shout out to Dr. Bear. Yeah, we are swarming. How was his space earlier, man?
Did you get I was busy. I was not in it. I was doing too much, man. I was like, oh shit. I mean, when the news broke.
Yeah, what were you doing when the news broke?
When the news broke, I was sitting my fat ass on that damn bed right there. We just made a little brunch,
I thought you were about to say we just made love.
Oh shit, man.
After the Bobby news is crazy.
We fucked after. All right. Then I did a fucking video. We were, had brunch, playing a game on the Switch, a little Mario Kart, a little something, a little competition, get the competitive juices flowing,
yes, sir.
And my dad called me.
Ooh.
I kept hearing my phone vibrate. And my dad called me. And I was like, why is he calling me for? And when I saw it, I saw immediately the news coming down from Ian Rappaport, all these people. And so I thought he was calling me because, oh shit, Bobby Slowick just got fired? Oh fuck. I told my girl, I don't give a fuck what place I land. I got to make a video. She was like, all right, bet. Made the video. I told my dad, thanks for calling me. He's like, oh no, I was just calling you because my phone was acting up. I didn't know if it was.
Oh my god.
God damn it. Well, hey, you know what? It was an act of God.
Hey.
A sign of God.
Yeah.
Get your fat ass in this goddamn chair.
Yeah.
You turn on that damn camera. You turn on that light.
Yeah.
Talk to these lovely Texans fans about Bobby Slowick being fired, Cole Popovich being fired.
Was he fired or was he just like, nah, don't come back?
It said fired. DJ Bieniemy said fire. Fire.
Fire.
Good Lord. Get that son of a bitch off the field. He's fired.
All right.
All right. We going MAGA here. a little MAGA quote.
Elite bar knowledge. Elite bar knowledge right there from Harley. That was funny. I was behind the counter. I had sold what did I say? I had sold a gravity bong. Okay. And then much like you, phone vibrates. It's my girl. She's like, Texans just fired Bobby Slowick. Immediately, I look at my manager. I'm like, hey, dude, I got to take my lunch. I just got there. I was like, I got to take my lunch. And he looked at me and I was like, you like, what? I'm like, look, bro, I'm shitting on myself. I got to go home. I live 7 minutes away. I got to change my pants. Like, I was making up all types of excuses. He was like, all right, just go. Had to hop on the video. That's just how much we care, about the Houston Texans. We're willing to leave mid-shift. We're willing to leave, mid-stroke. We love this Houston Texans team. We are H-Town. We are H-Town till we drown. Shit. Bobby Slowick not coming back. Cole Popovich not coming back. Chris Strausser not coming back. Just bam, 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 bam. How much news you want on a Friday?
Friday news dump, baby. Friday news dump. I don't think it's finished yet.
Stop it. Fire. Hey, were these the fireworks that Joe Mixon was talking about?
No,
Because I wanted to go
Stop.
buy some after the
Stop.
news, dude. I was like,
Stop.
I hit the Vince Carter. I was like, ah.
Yeah, right. Like this shit means something to me, man.
It means the
This shit
world.
means something. Oh man, I was hyped, man. I'm not Mitch. Come on, man.
Hey,
Look
daily
at that.
Houston
Shoot,
Texans
shooting. What we
content.
shooting?
Daily Houston Texans content.
Mixing you. Maybe he did. Maybe he didn't. I'm more of the belief of that Joe Mixon was just like hyping us up a little bit and hoping, and giving us that. Oh, Nick gonna do something. Which obviously Nick gonna do something, right? So,
But now that you see new offensive coordinator, new O-line coach, how do you think, like, not how do you think, but like, now I could see some fireworks happening.
man, these are fireworks, right? I mean,
Shout out
give
to my
me an
boy
OC.
Dom. I know what type of
Boy,
swarming he's
Dom.
talking about. Swarm. And shout out to all the boys in New York, Dom. Tell them I'm wishing them the very best. They said Harley's looking thick. From unknown.
From unknown is crazy.
Yeah. So
From unknown is
they had to call it,
crazy, bro.
Yeah.
Thank God that's not on my YouTube channel. That's on yours, big dog.
Oh, that is on mine.
So
shout out to the
all right,
freaks.
man. All right, Ruben. You don't got to reveal yourself as the unknown.
Right? I'm sorry. Let me put my burner away. No, but like Frank said, now we got a real shot going deep into the play. I mean, you hope so, right? With the new offense. You hope so. Like with the new offense, you're thinking the excitement we had last season, it's like kind of right back up. I'm ready for 2025. They trading Schultz.
I fucking wish. Y'all want to see a freaky ass Friday. I mean, they trade Schultz.
That's funny. That's funny. That Bobby was cooked. Yes. Harley swarming. We're swarming.
Yo, we are big swarming, man. I appreciate, man. We got about 500 people in here right now.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, man. I mean, I don't know what else is there, man. We fired both offensive line coaches. We need a new offensive lines coach. We've talked about it a little bit. I love me some Mike Munchak. I don't know who else is out there. I know John Benton
from Mike Munchak. Shout out to Ice Spice.
we got people munching for Munchak. All right.
We got, I'm a munch for Mike Munchak, man.
We go, all right.
Dude, imagine you go Mike Munchak, your offensive coordinator, Chip Kelly. I'm sorry, Mike Munchak, your O-line coach, Chip Kelly, your OC. I'm feeling real nicey.
Yeah. Got me feeling nicey.
Oh I'm ready to hit a line. I'm ready to do it.
Oh, hey.
I'm about to call the play right now. I'm too hyped.
All right, man. Yeah, that would definitely get it going. That would definitely be a great step in the right direction for the Houston Texans. Jason Kelsey. Random. Just a random one. See, I was hardly slipped out that. Did my best Stephen A. Smith impression there, ladies and gentlemen. Jason Kelsey, no shot. But I don't think Jason Kelsey gonna want to be a coach. But I'm excited, man. I'm excited about this. I'm excited about what we're about to get into with the Houston Texans. If y'all want to continue watching us, y'all can head right on over to Bleacher Report. We're about to head on over there in just a few minutes at 6:00. So go ahead and start making y'all way. Start making y'all's way over there, man. We look, man. You see what you got, man. See what you got. Hit a line is nuts.
We got swarmers, bro. We got swarmers.
Just tells me Steels knows what's up.
Steels is a baller.
Steels knows what's up. Hell no, Mike McCarthy is trash. No wonder he's gone by the Cowboys.
I had like a 24-hour obsession with Mike McCarthy, and then I'm off that. I'm
done with him. I don't want no damn. I don't want no damn Mike McCarthy, man. I don't want no damn Mike McCarthy. I don't. He's okay, but I feel like there's better options. than a Mike McCarthy. Like, I'd rather go Mike LaFleur than Mike McCarthy. You know, Mike LaFleur was a former offense coordinator for the New York Jets. I think he gets a lot of bad rep. I really do. Mike LaFleur worked with Zach Wilson and Mike White. And they had
Mike White t-shirts, man.
Big, running around the damn locker room and shit. Like, I like what Mike LaFleur could bring to this team. Now you have a CJ Stroud. Hey, I think he got a raw deal there with the New York Jets. So he ended up becoming a scapegoat there, and they ended up firing him. So, you know, it is what it is. But
he just told us to check the DMs.
What's going on? What's going on? I ain't see shit. I don't see shit. I don't see shit. So
you got me excited for no reason.
I know you're gonna airdrop something,
right?
Mechie could get his ass on.
Your boy said, "Hey, cuties."
That's the unknown.
Yeah. Oh, that.
He just he aired himself out. He aired himself out right there. Colt McCoy. Look, I know people were talking about quarterbacks, former quarterbacks and stuff, but some way, somehow, the Houston Texans got to find Case Keenum on this coaching staff. I don't care on what it is, in some sort of capacity, but Case Keenum deserves to be on this coaching staff. So, yeah, man, it would be I think that would be a great move for the Texans. I think that would be something CJ Stroud would be open for. I think we didn't realize how valuable Case Keenum was to the locker room, to CJ Stroud's ear last year in 2023. I'm not saying that's the biggest reason as to why he fell off a little bit in 2024. But I think there is, you know, something there that he wasn't necessarily there for this 2024 season. I think Case Keenum would be a good hire for the Texans. Don't have to be quarterbacks coach. Could be anything. Just get him on the staff some way, somehow.
Yeah, you want someone like Case Keenum in the building around CJ. You know, Case Keenum's been all around as well. So I wouldn't mind that whatsoever. Reading the group chat from Mr. Storm, some crazy stuff. Stuff. Unfortunately, we can't say it on stream.
No.
We'll have to wait for it to come out.
You know, we get fired, you know.
We
just
get
like
fired.
Bobby Slug.
We get called out.
Yeah, we will get called out. We'll get called out.
We gotta be safe here.
He'll unveil some of them skeletons in the closet, you know what I'm saying?
Ooh, don't do that.
Astros asked Presley if he wants to leave real quick. Ryan Presley did waive his no trade clause to the Chicago Cubs. Not sure where he goes from here, but it is what it is there. Check my head, spill the tea. I ain't got no tea, unfortunately.
And if we did, man, you know, we'll never be those guys, man. You know, we'll never be those guys.
You never will be, man. You know, so make me the next GM for the Texans. I got it. David NSR. I'm pretty sure we tried to do that one time and that guy failed horribly. If you know what I know. I'm late, but what up, fellas? I want Kaylee from Rams or Marcus Arroyo from Arizona State. What a pull. Okay.
Yeah, he's locked in.
Smokey must know something we don't.
Right.
All right. I do like me some Nick Kaylee. But yeah, no, again, guys, if y'all want to, hey, Ruben, you're gonna make the link real quick.
I'm trying to. Yeah, that's exactly what I'm doing.
Bet. Ruben will make the link. We'll drop the link in the comment section, and then for sure we'll be talking some more Texans football for a good 30 minutes on Bleacher Report. We're gonna have to start that in just a few minutes,
and it's on the app, guys.
Yeah, y'all just go to Bleacher Report app. That's really all y'all got to do.
And just go to where you have the Houston Texans.
Yeah, you just go to Bleacher Report. We will both be talking. Won't be hard to find. Like, we will be live on the Bleacher Report app. And if anybody wants, go ahead and download the Bleacher Report app. Follow the Houston Texans. Put those noties on. And anytime we go live, you will get an immediate notification that we are live. And we will go live every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 6 p.m. Central Time. Anybody that is not in Houston, 7 p.m. Eastern Time for y'all, and then I don't know, Mountain Time, Pacific. I don't know all that shit. But 6 p.m. Central Time, y'all can, convert it any which way possible. But Ruben, any last thoughts for the crowd real quick? We got about 5:15 in here right now. So again, Bleacher Report. Just go to the app, man. Go right to the app. We will be live in just a few minutes, okay?
Nothing, boys. Just know that the Houston Texans, they did the right thing today. And what they told you was that they are not committed to mediocrity, that they, in fact, do want to get better. They are taking advantage of C.J. Stroud's rookie deal. Bring as much talent as you can until you have to make him one of the highest paid quarterbacks in the NFL. There is a window, ladies and gentlemen, of success for this Houston Texans team. And man, it's right there in front of us. I'm going to post the link right now. All right, guys, it's right there. Copy and paste it, and you will be sent to Bleacher Report.
Bam, right there.
But other
so there
than
we
that,
go.
That's it. You ready to hop in?
Yeah, man, I'm ready to go ahead and start some Bleacher Report with you, my guy. So again, appreciate every single one of y'all that have hopped in here. All 500 of y'all, almost 520 people in here. Again, super appreciative of every single one of y'all, man. Y'all already know the drill. Drop a swarm if you haven't already. Go down to that like button. Hit the like button. My channel, Ruben's channel. Y'all do y'all's thing. If y'all don't know, now y'all know. Go hitting that damn subscribe button. Go Astros, Rockets. Go Texans. Y'all have a very blessed rest of y'all days, man.